Hello, everybody. Welcome to ICC's Banter Blitz. I'm Grandmaster Joel Benjamin. Apologize for the late start. I had some technical problems. I did once work on the computer program Deep Blue, but I'm actually not all that tech savvy, so sometimes I run into problems. But I'm ready to get going. So I see that people have been lined up with challenges, and we'll be getting started with the first one very shortly. Okay, so we've got Bitvs Byte, Bitvs Byte from Canada. B6, very wily. Okay, I tried to be the unorthodox one with my first move, but I guess I might be the more conventional player in this game. As I get it. Bit versus byte. Okay, apologize for my ignorance there. I actually studied this opening a couple years ago because I had a U.S. Chess League game. I had an opponent that played this opening all the time, so I gave it a lot of thought and decided what the best way to play against B6 would be. So I feel like this is not a system that is going to throw me off. But I guess probably a lot of people don't think about it too much. Okay, let's see. I'm just itching to go e5. Should I? Yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and play e5. I also had a thought to take the knight, but and then go e5. But sometimes when you give up bishops, it comes back to haunt you. Okay, so now a lot of players would go for an f4 pawn attack, but I also often like to use the pieces in this type of position if I can. Oh, he's got some. Yeah, he's got some defensive ideas. All right, Queen g4 for now. Be nice if I could set up that battery, but on the b1 h7 diagonal, but I'm not really set up for it. Yeah, he wants to trade queens. All right. All right. It's just some in-game skill. That's code for I didn't really succeed in getting an attack. So, among my friends when I was a teenager, when we played Blitz against each other, people like Mike Wilder, Jay Whitehead, um, when one of us would get a lost position, we would say, okay, now I have to outplay you positionally. Which, of course, was not really what we'd be doing. Okay, but here I think, I didn't get a mating attack in the middle game, but I feel pretty good about this position because I think White has some pretty decent pressure on the king side, even without the queens. I'm going to use the f-file, maybe rook g4 is coming, depending on what he does. I have to be slightly careful about bringing the rook to f1 and the other rook to g4 and not walking into, some fork on e3 with the knight. But, if he plays something like knight d5, I don't think he's going to be able to arrange that. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward for him to defend that g pawn, I think. Yeah, okay. g4. Excuse me. Oh well. Actually, I just have to kind of move faster, don't I? Yeah. Just have to move faster. So for now, I've got that pinned. Yeah, this is not exactly happening the way I wanted it to. Maybe I should just kick the knight, right? c4. Knight really isn't going to go anywhere that's going to hurt me. Probably that was a mistake. I may not be at my sharpest after all that time, worrying about all this figuring out all this technical stuff. I feel like I have some shot here. Okay, let's just kick the knight. Start with that. Just get that out of there for now, and that should set something up. I mean, it looks like he's set up for something, but what? Oh, actually, I'm ahead on time. That's good. It's kind of an annoying move. H4 is kind of admission that I can't figure out a winning sacrifice. So I'm going to just try to break it down with pawns. And that's not going to be so easy for him to deal with. Knight d3, where's he going? He wants to take something. Yeah, that's kind of an annoying move. That's a pretty darn annoying move, I have to admit. I don't really want to trade that, but okay, I don't see what else to do. Yeah. It's not worked out that well. Not worked out that well. Big disappointment. First game jitters. But I'll just have to outplay him positionally now. Rook d4. Okay. Check. Just going to try to fend off for a couple moves and then figure this out. Just, it's a blitz game and all. Might be a little risky to go in there, but I'm going to try it. Could have just played knight f6, I guess. This is a very interesting position. Who's zooming who, right? Both sides can have thoughts of playing for mate. Oh, that's interesting. All right, so now let me put some pawns on dark squares. Okay, I didn't get that one in a dark square, but now I'll go after his pawn. Unfortunately, he's attacking my A pawn. Ooh, he forgot to take my pawn. Oh, he could have taken the pawn first. Bit versus byte was a very nice game, but it was just a little slow. Maybe it didn't have like a good interface, a good mouse setup or whatever, because he was playing very slowly at the end, but that was a squeaker. Okay, got to get settled down. Try to do better. I've often said that I could be a little bit shakiest in the first game. That was kind of shaky. Okay, Niken Duiarto, who is a regular on this show, my Blitz show. Back in the day, I used to play the Nimzovich defense a lot. It's a little bit dubious, I have to admit. H3, so he's saying, no bishop g4, not in my house. Fair enough. go hippo mode here. This is actually stuff that I used to play from a straight Purits years ago. This type of formation. I actually invented a line um, against the classical. Possibly I should have played 97 because you always have to look out for whether e5 you have a good answer to that. Now I can always play my knight to d5 and c1. Okay. So he's sort of playing quick natural moves, which is not a bad idea very often. So basically I just want to get my rook into the game and get my queen and then have my queen back out. The problem that white often has is that after all those natural moves that he's just made, how to go forward, because black is just kind of set up a wall. You know how, like, when you're starting out in chess, or you meet up with people who know how to play but haven't played any organized chess, and they say things like, oh, I have this great opening where I build a wall, I just build a wall of pawns, and it looks kind of comical when they play that way to a real chess player. Well, this is a little bit like a real way of building a wall, because it is kind of hard for white to try to breach this formation, and eventually black can, in a couple of moves, if nothing happens, I'll probably play c5. But in the meantime, giving him some trouble figuring out what to do. Yeah. Black, I usually don't want to play d5, or at least not too quickly, because then after e5, I often get both bishops shut out of the game. So I might get all Richard ready and go queen a8 on him. Possibly. I mean, his e4 is pretty well guarded, I have to admit. So I'll have like an extra minute and a half on the clock when I think about, okay, how do I want to hit at the center? Bishop f1. Well, if I play queen a8, he might find he's coming back. Yeah, okay, come on back. It's like I switched positions of the queen and the rook. Okay, all right, so let's go with c5. I'm not going to think about it, just play it. And now, after trying to figure out how to maneuver, now he has to adjust to, okay, how do I deal with this break in the center? What do I do pawn structure wise? And that's not like an easy, quick decision. All right, so he takes that. Yeah, normally I like to take with the b pawn if I can, but here I think I'm walking into e5. Well, how much am I walking into e5? Because I own that long diagonal. D takes probably pretty good too. I'll get ambitious, I think, with b takes, because I have that long diagonal. Yeah, but e5, the problem is, isn't he worried about what's going to happen long diagonal? I think I'm just going to take, and something's going to happen there. See the timing. I had the bishop and the queen lined up, and so then I play c5 when e5 isn't so effective. Now I think I should be able to take this on g2. I didn't give myself much room for my mouse here. I'm afraid to move my computer too much. Okay. h4. I'll just back out. I guess he didn't want me to take that. Well, that kind of makes sense. So just sort of consolidate my gains there, and he didn't defend the mate. That's fun, right? He didn't. I was assuming f3 or bishop f1. He didn't defend the mate, so that's funny. All right, that's okay. That's okay. Okay, now I have to take with the knight. Well, he's only got 17. I'll let him enjoy his 17 seconds of fame. Okay. It would be funny if I set up that mate again, right? Yeah, this is a pretty hard position to play with your queen getting bounced around, right? Uh, let's throw that at him. Just defend my f pawn. Oh, okay. He's not really dropping stuff yet. What should I do about that? Should I take it? Let's have some fun. I'll just take it. Okay. Try to mate him on the G file for grins. Uh-oh. 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 Checky. Checky. Shachmat. Okay, thanks for the game. Now I can do Wiarto. However, that's someday I'll find out how to pronounce that correctly. Yeah, I did miss a mate and won that game. Well, got a little complacent after getting that position. Sometimes you know you're going to win a game on time no matter what, and yeah. Okay, so we got J. Russell 2. And if I beat him, then I take on J. Russell 1. I don't know. Going back and forth between C4 and B5. I don't know which one. Bishop G4. This is a bishop F7. Sure looks like a bishop F7 to me. I'm getting good openings with my knight out. Oh, my knight coming out. Yep. I mean, when the bishop is hitting F7, you always have to really think twice about these bishop G4s. You know, especially if you don't have your knight out protecting that square. This, you know, you want to, even in Blitz, you want to just give a little check, bishop F7, because, I mean, it's one of those tactics everybody knows. I mean, my 8-year-old son, he's never played in a tournament, he knows that. But we all forget about it, forget to check a lot. And then it happens. Bum, 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 bum. All right, queen attacked. All right, I guess I'll just took us. And what next? Knight d4. Knight d4 I really don't like, so I'm going to stop knight d4. I don't really like having to play c3, but I could probably just ignore it and you know, just play, just let him come in and take a pawn. All right, so he's He's not castling. He's moved to king, so he's not really getting out of the center very effectively. So just consolidate the next couple of moves. Everything is good. Put my nice knight on a nice central square. Castle. And he can't do the same. And the thing is that in ICC, you can't get away with stuff like that. Because, if you're playing on the street and you castle, if your opponent forgets that you moved your king, yeah, you get away with it. But you can't do that ICC. You just hear, eh, eh. Not going to happen. Yeah, so it's not just the pawn. He's really struggling to get his king out of there. Checky. And if he goes queen f7, yeah, I think I'll do some fancy pants liquidation here. I could take with a knight, but I decided to go fancy. Checky. Pre-move knight f7. Okay, and the rest should be a matter of technique. So bishop g5. I like it there because that stops him from putting a rook on the d file. Just anchor that. Although I don't like so much putting a pawn on the dark square with the dark square bishop, but okay. Let's just bring the rooks in. I could play f4. I don't know. I think I'll lift and separate. I was thinking about letting him take and then come over, but I just thought maybe I'll keep my options open here because maybe I will play f4 if he comes onto the f file. Okay, I'm deciding against it. Just keep all those weak pawns. On a very friendly resignation, but yeah, position is ultimately lost. Yeah, bishop f7. That's one you always have to watch out for. Thank you, J. Russell, too. And we'll see who's next. Simply wonderful. Okay, you're up. Simply e4. Wow. Another one like that, huh? Okay. He's playing just like the earlier game with h3. It's not like bishop g4 is really all that big a deal. It's easy enough to break that pin anyway. Probably, I generally think it's good for white to play d4 before I get an e6 and drive the knight back. That's a standard answer to knight c6 in the classical periods. So this is actually a position I had a lot back, several times back in the day, like in late 90s when I developed this system. I played it a few times. I played against Yermolinsky in the U.S. Championship, and I played it against a few grandmasters with pretty good success. And I went to the World Youth one year as a coach, and one of the Ukrainian girls told me that she was a big fan of my ideas in the Pirtz defense. And I was flabbergasted because I had no idea that anybody in the Ukraine was paying attention to any of my games. But then I found out that Ponomariev also played this system with e6 after I did. So I guess, some people were watching. So he might have some trouble hanging on to that pawn on d5. Not so much trouble hanging on to it, but being a little bit tied down to it. But on the other hand, he does have some space. So you just have to see how it goes. a6 was mostly to take away the b5 square so that I don't have to worry about bishop coming to b5. But also, I guess white has to keep an eye on me playing b5. Bishop d4, okay. Probably he's still defended on d5 because he can just capture. But now I can go after the bishop. Probably should. Oh, I can't reach it. I can't reach it. I think I need more mouse room. There we go. Didn't want to go down. Happens sometimes. Okay, so I'm just going to grab the bishop pair. But of course, I lose pressure on d5, but I think I just, move on to a different idea. But that having an unopposed dark square bishop will be pretty nice, I think. Knight e4. What to take first? Well, can I win a pawn here? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. He can take on f6. And he does. Okay. So we get that rook out. Consolidation. Makes sense. Oh, wait. I spy, with my little eye, I spy something hanging. Can I reach it? Yeah. Hanging. And you can't play rook takes rook and queen f4 because the rook on d1 is hanging in that case. So it looks like I make a little raid here and try to come back home with my booty. Don't play queen f4. Uh-oh. I said don't do it. I said don't do it. Oh. Don't say I didn't warn him. Oh, no. Okay. You're welcome for the game. Don't agree with what you said, but that's fine. Okay. Let's see who's next. Medina 1, 2, 3. Latvian Gambit. Okay. Very good. How is he going to play it? Knight f6. Okay. Fair enough. All right. I'll bite. I'll take another pawn, see what happens. For now, it looks like I have an extra pawn. It looks like a Petrov's where his f pawn is missing, doesn't it? How bad can that be? I mean, it's not like he has a lot of extra tempi. Okay. Maybe it's like one extra move in compensation for the f pawn missing. Position that is really very safe for white to begin with. Okay. Slight annoyance there. Oh, he might convince me to castle on the king side with that, I suppose. guess I'll castle on the king side. It's pretty safe either way. D5. Okay. Let's develop. I don't know. Let's try that. See where the bishop is going. Also defend my c pawn. So I could move my bishop now. I might just do, let me hit the bishop and see. Okay, now. So, okay, Nejmadinov, 1, 2, 3, goes for some little tactics there, which is okay. But I think I'm going to handle it, because I'm just going to come back and defend everything. Maybe I'll grab another pawn. Yeah, I think I'm going to grab another pawn, because I got the back rank covered. The position is really pretty safe. It's not getting, I'm not hallucinating anything. Knight d4, that doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really threaten anything. Knight d4. Takes my knight, I take him. I just can't take, that's all. Bishop d4, yeah, he defends. Okay, I can't take it, but kick his bishop. And kick his bishop again. So if he moves his bishop, he'll get to take another pawn. So maybe he'll try another tactic. Oh, okay. Takes d4. Okay, so I just have to not move my knight. Okay. Should I be super greedy and and defend? I'm going to maybe tease him a little bit longer with that back rank. There's nothing he can really do about it. Even if he attacks my knight and takes my knight, I can take back with the bishop. So it just isn't really any way to set up back rank attack. Bishop c6. Yeah, I'm really teasing him, aren't I? Okay. I have a pawn on b2, so it's defending my knight, so it's, yeah, okay. Block that rook. I'm just doing that because I think it would be kind of funny if I could end the game with a back rank mate, you know, on him, because he's been setting up that back rank mate the whole time. All right, so we start pushing some pawns forward. Where's my rook here? I'll just take his pawn. He's maybe not going to have such an easy time stopping that H pawn. Not so easy. Seeing if I can outright queen that D pawn would be kind of a nice way to finish. Thank you, Nejmadino of 123. Yeah, normally after knight takes e5, queen f6 is the old traditional move. I think knight c6 also, maybe. But knight f6, it just seems like white is just up a pawn, really. Okay, so we have cap 78 red. You're up. c4. c4 is the best move on days when my first move is automatically d5. Okay. So we've got a King's English. Most of these games, black tries to e4 some position, but not always. Knight e4. Not expecting that. I had an idea with that move, but now I don't like it quite so much. So let me just defend that and get out of the way. Stop c5 also from happening. Yeah, I was kind of planning bishop c6, but then I thought about he goes bishop d5 maybe. All right. If you insist, I'll play f5. Now, yeah, if you didn't do that, then maybe e4 and c6 would happen. f4. What's that? Do I want to? He might take it. Queen e8 is sort of a thematic move in this type of positions. b4. No, interesting. I mean, he does have to be a little careful about weaknesses of his pawns. All right, let's go e4 because now c4 is loose. I think that could be an issue. He doesn't have that many squares. Queen d4. Do I go c5 or knight c6? He goes there. I hit the bishop, the queen again. I do have to admit a real fondness for these openings where I double the pawns by take a knight to double the pawns. I do love playing against double pawns, and there goes one. I don't know which rook I should recapture with, but just move. Bishop g5. Right. Let's see where you're going, just to kick you. Yeah, okay. Block your rooks, and we best take advantage. Maybe just start rolling pawns forward. Like that. Just roll. Bishop a3. Okay. Alright. I'll just move my rook just so I don't, if he plays b5, I won't forget that I'm hanging over there. But the problem is he's got to keep a rook there to defend it for a while. So I think I'll try rolling on the king side with f4. Oh, I stand corrected. That will not happen. All right, what are you going to do if I come here, though? Where are you going? Are you answering that? Yeah, but now I'm going to take here. He stopped knight c2, but now I think he's got this problem. Doesn't look like he can recapture, which is going to create issues. There will be issues. A little bit of cold, I think. Ah, c4. Trying to change the subject. Okay. He wants to do something along diagonal. Okay, I'll take that one. Oh, okay. All right, let's get rolling on the G file here. Thought he was going to want to take on f4, but apparently not. All right, that's a check. I see it. No touch move. Three, four, five, six. Is that my first pawn I had recaptured? Wow. I had a good streak going there. But I guess my opponent has a lot more open files. Alright, let's send some pawns rolling through the middle, which will block out his bishop. Both of them would be blocked out. Create some issues over there around this king. Oh, I was waiting for that. Check. Nice setup, huh? Yeah, rook g2 mate coming. Okay, thanks Cap78 Red. It was sort of a typical looking game, but b4, you have to be very careful about moving the support for that c4 pawn, and that was definitely the wrong moment to do it. So blackjack 7-2-1, Tango, Niner, Bravo. So nobody wants to play d4 today. Notice knight f6 before bishop g4. I don't want to get it. I don't want a bishop f7 done on me. Okay, now I can do this because I have bishop f7 covered. I could take it, but okay, I'll retreat. Ooh. Okay, talk me into it. Why doesn't blackjack 7-2-1 want to move his d-pawn? Why isn't he moving his d-pawn? Queen e2? Well, why would that be better than d3 or d4? Sometimes simple chess is the best. So I'm going to get me castled, and then I'm going to start doing stuff. All right, now he wants to push his d-pawn. Very good. But I'm going to push my d-pawn. Look out. Look out below. That could be a problem, actually. I'm not sure how he's going to avoid losing a piece. Threatening fork. Looks like it is happening. Queen g5. Okay, everything is protected. Everything is protected. So, lunch. Don't take g7. Don't do it. Then rook g8 wins the queen. The bishop is defended. He has a check on b5. I'm not too worried about that. E1, okay, just castle. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. E4. Where is that going? Where is that going? Could have taken it. Okay, would have taken my bishop, I guess. Alright, well, I will offer you the solace of an endgame if you choose to accept. Otherwise, I will mate you. Okay. I mean, I will eventually checkmate anyway, but this one will take longer to checkmate. I kind of like this one. C3, yeah. It's gonna mate me, yeah? Okay. Playing a very simple plan. I'm just going to queen my a pawn. Yeah, he doesn't really have much to try to fashion a mating attack. But it's cute that he's trying. Alright, check. Alright, let's trade rooks. Check. Give me that bishop too. Ooh, okay. It's a girl. It'd be hard to mate my. Oh, I've got always queen on. Well, I hope I don't have a position where I need to under promote. If I have to under promote, we got a problem. Oh, I could have made it with the bishop. Oh, that was more aesthetic. All right, thank thank you, Blackjack 721. That was fun. So far, so good. Really, kind of the shakiest game was the first one. All right, clownfish. Okay, stepping up a little in class with this game. I think I may have played clownfish last month as well, and it was a very tight game, and eventually managed to kind of wear down his resistance to get rook and 2 pawns against rook, but he even that he fought very hard, and I just barely managed to get it done at the end. So this is I don't know what you describe this opening. It's sort of interesting. Um, both sides castled. And now what? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to watch out for some tricks opening up the diagonal, like knight takes e4, moves like that. Could be possible. All right, I'm just going to take. I'm losing patience here. Knight takes. I don't know. It's not such an exciting position, I suppose. To get out of the way, a little bit of knight f4. It's about an even position. Knight d3, knight d7 is a little tickle. Knight e7, yeah. Well, it's not all that exciting. These games, they play a lot of openings that are designed to elicit positional errors, and when they don't come, then it's usually not very exciting. I guess maybe black is even a touch better now. Yeah, I haven't handled this all that well, have I? That was largely to stop bishop b5. That's, yeah, kind of indicates that something's gone a little wrong. Maybe I should have played queen e5 instead of queen e3, and then I could play b4. I was kind of wanted to play b4, but I can't really do it. Okay, queen trade. Uh, okay. At least it created some counterplay on the queen side there with a5. Certainly have a lot of work to do here if I'm going to get a clean sweep. This is not a position you can easily be so ambitious in. Maybe I'll play for b4 now. Yeah, it looks like a decent plan. I mean, if there are more pieces on the board, I'd be kind of worried about how I'm passive on the king side. My d pawn is backward, but like he doesn't have a knight or a queen or pieces that could really hurt me. Well, he can try to do something there. That's very true. But meanwhile, I got my play going with b4. Got a lot more time. Maybe I've got an edge now. You can try e4 here. Very complicated. Now he's going for it. Maybe not a bad idea considering he doesn't have a lot of time anyway. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. He has a very strong d pawn, that's for sure. Yeah, if rook c8, I had bishop h3, I think, was strong. Okay, now I think I have to trade. And then I come out with an extra guy. Of course, not so not so easy to win such a position. Yeah. Yeah. Just be a little careful I don't mate myself, but I think I'm okay. It's a little bit of a dilemma, that check. I should be winning. Yeah, but he's not going to make it easy, is he? I did, after all, write a book on the end game, so I should occasionally get them right. Yeah. I could also play f7. Nice try, clownfish. If I wasn't paying attention and played f7, I'd still win anyway. All right. Well, yeah, I was, made something out of nothing. But when I played a4, I think he should have played a5, fixed that pawn on the white square. Then black's better with really not much, not much for me to look forward to. All right, so we got Trend David, all in caps, and let's see what he can do. Knight c3, of course, it does often transpose into e4 openings. It's been a while since I had a Beertz. Anybody did that against me? Standard fare so far. E5. All right, take it. Just for fun, right? I mean, I don't know that that's necessarily the best way to play this position. But I don't feel like another game of technique. B3, no choice about that. Well, I could take on G7, so I lied. Yeah. I have to make sure that that the knight doesn't somehow slip into C3. I think I should be able to deal with that. He does have another idea of Queen A3, A5, A4, which of course, if it works, will be really good, but I probably should have time to organize a defense. For one thing, the E5 pawn hangs, and then knight comes back to C4, so he definitely needs some more preparation before that can work. Well, that might be it. That might be his preparation. But okay, let's roll that forward. Okay, now he's running. Okay. Did I wait a move too long here? Yeah. Now he's running knight takes e4. Well, I can come in. What does all that mean? But I would have liked to have bishop g7 in hindsight. Okay. Now I'm finally going to trade. I'm not going to wait any longer. And what do I want now? And I want to take that, but I think maybe I'll flick an h5 here. Now I'll take this. And start grabbing lots of pawns. He can take one, but then I maybe take two. Maybe take two for the price of one. So, grabbing. very smart, actually. That was not so smart on my part. Making this more interesting. I saw that he could take on d3. Well, he should have taken on d3. I saw that he could, but I thought about it to move earlier. But with pawn on e5, he takes on d3 and puts a knight on d5. Well, I think I have too many pawns anyway. Yeah, I've got a lot of pawns in this position. Maybe should have even, well, I was going to say I should have taken for it. It doesn't matter. Lots of pawns. This knight is loose. Yeah, but I got this one. Checky. I can even start thinking about mates. Oh, king e4. All right, I'll just take the knight. I can come back to mates later and just start with that. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Trent David. That was an interesting game. I decided, yeah, just to go castle queen, so I'd go for the attack. I don't know if that was the right strategy at that moment, but just felt like what I wanted to do. Too much technique sometimes. All right, so we have Ohanazian. And finally, somebody plays d4. That is a thing they do. And sometimes they do this. I always like that maneuver to get out of the way of the h-pawn coming forward. The knight can come back later. Oh, he's getting very tricky with this bishop b5. Very tricky indeed. But I don't know, I think that's a useful tempo for me to have c6. It's like he's trying to take away every move from me, but I don't know if that's going to be successful. I could play queen a5, but my heart's not really set on taking a pawn there. Maybe if he goes bishop g5. Weird position. I mean, it's, well, he's not really in position to. Oh, I guess he might be able to castle queenside a couple of moves. We'll see. All right, go ahead and take that if you want. It's possible that that's not really a good idea for me to encourage it, but let's be sporty. Let's be neighborly. Hi, neighbor. I have big plans to defend the dark squares with my bishop and queen. And my plan is as follows. That. So I think I should be able to defend things. Queen h6 and knight g6. I've got bishop e3 coming. Maybe bishop f2 first, depending. Yeah, I should get there first. What else can he try here? Knight d1. Yeah. Maybe I should put bishop f2 first. Don't know. Yeah. What should I do? Maybe just chase him out. Bishop a6 is also, but I don't want to mess around with that. So I think, where should I put my rook? d8. Kick him out. But this is not as efficient as bishop e3 would have been. Knight d1 was a very good move, very timely move for him. But still going to be hard to mate me. Knight e3, have bishop h6, again dark squares. I think I can pretty much cover stuff. It's not that easy for him to castle. Yeah, maybe he's trying to castle queenside. But let me pump that up and try to hit him on the d file. Yes, I definitely went to the right square with rook d8. I figured that something might happen there. Oh, Hanazian is running out of time. And also starting to take some shots. What is he going to do about this one? Queen defends rook. Yeah, looks good. Okay. It's a little tricky. Rook takes d1, he would take my knight, so I'm going to do this way. And I think that's one check. Well, he has a bishop of 7, but he doesn't have time to play it because this is low as the boom on him. Oh, not quite the boom I thought it was going to be. All right, he's still going. Okay, that was weird. All right. Surely that lowers the boom on him. He's got no checks, right? Okay, queen f2 looks quite big here. What happened? I don't see any clocks going. Oh, now it does. Okay. I was worried that I got disconnected or something. Oh, okay. Clang. All right, thanks for the game. Yeah, I got a cheeky there, allowing bishop f6. I thought, I'd cover the dark squares in time. So, okay, next up is ears, flying the maple leaf. Another guy that's trying to be weirder than me with his first move. All right, okay. I Now let's just play randomly h4. Throw it up there, see what happens. Make him think. Got him thinking. Got him thinking. Maybe I'll win a pawn. My son just got this birthday present. Somebody gave him something called solitaire chess. There was like an old book by that name about playing chess by yourself, but this actually isn't exactly chess. It's a game where it has a chessboard, and they put a bunch of pieces, 3 or more pieces on the board, and the object is you have to make captures. You have to capture everything until you're just down to one piece. So what you got to capture all but one piece. It's really tricky puzzles. I think it's really genius. And I'd never heard of this game before. And also, I'm a little jealous that I didn't think of it, because it seems like a very cool idea. Okay, so I'm thinking that maybe black has some weaknesses in this ending and is a little bit behind in development too. Kind of position I usually enjoy playing. Having development in endgame and pawn structure. A6. Was not expecting that. Nobody's played E5 yet on move 1. Gotten D5s and knight f6, which is what black usually does. But if you think I'm fooling around, and well, mostly I am, but I have played knight c3 in tournament games, and I beat a grandmaster playing knight c3. That was Dr. John Nunn. I beat him at about more than 100 moves, I think. It eventually took me, but I played knight c3 and eventually was able to win. All right, well, I'm not sure if I should take this because that covers f5, but nonetheless, I will. And then I have to start maneuvering my knights because they're no longer in the right place. Now the knight on g3. Now they need to head for squares like g4 and c4. This seems like a little bit of an odd position for think. It makes sense to just bring out knights and worry later. King c8. Wants to fianchetto the king. That's an interesting way to do it, like in the Benko Gambit. Kind of surprising. I mean, b6 or b5. I mean, wouldn't be all that weakening to put the king on b7. Yours is being very careful with this, but he's going to run out of time. And now he plays b6. Okay, well, this seems like he's not being as efficient with the moves as he could be. Now, still have to figure out a little bit where to go from here. All these maneuvers. I'm not sure what the point of rook d3 is, but it just basically is a move. Like that one. Ears is, I think he's going to leave a good-looking corpse in this game because he's almost out of time. His position's okay, but he's almost out of time. Well, he held the position for 24 moves, but ran out of time. So I don't know. Um, I still had some maneuvering to do. Maybe double rooks, or maybe maneuver that knight around um, to find a more ideal spot. But yeah, okay. Anyway, thank you for the game. Sight Lambeg. Another one of those kind of compound names that has some kind of meaning that I can't really figure out what it's about. Ooh, but where is your move? So far, we've gone this far with everybody ready to meet the starting gun, but maybe we're not going to have a perfect record today. It's too bad. It's a new opponent. I always like playing new opponents. We've gotten a bunch of them today. Do 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 do. Okay. Well, thanks for almost playing, and we'll have somebody who is physically there now. Okay, so this is Talakine. Okay, that I get. A combination of Tal and Alakine. That sounds like one heck of an attacking player. Let's see what you got. Bring it on. Bring it on. No! We had a perfect record. Oh. I'm sorry, G5. You've insulted my family and the Shaolin Temple with that move. No. No. You can't play a grob down a tempo. You get out of here with that weak stuff. Whatever. Anything's good. C5. Okay. Well. Okay, if you want to give me a pawn, I'll take that pawn. Alright. Seems. I don't think that either Tal or Alakine would play in this manner, but triple pawns, triple strength. Now you want to think about it. Think about it. Think about what you've done to your king side by G5 and then give up your bishop. Naughty, naughty. Maybe H4 is coming, and then there'll be reckoning. Knight A6. Very good. Well, since that knight's not coming to C6, my queen can come here without any fear. Mein Gott, mein Gott. Okay, it's gone. Let's see. Rook h7. All right. Rook h7. Yep. All right. I think maybe I'll put my bishop on d3 because you never know. The bishop might one day attack that rook. One fine day. King f8. Cool. Cool beans. All right, I'll just develop another piece. It's like Clint Eastwood said once, it's a high price to pay for being stylish. So what, h4 is coming, I could castle and play f4. That's also not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do it that way. Just connect everything up. See, just a classical response, get all the pieces out. Quick development, well, never goes out of style, really. Yeah, I don't know what to recommend for black. I mean, black should probably play something like d6 and try to trade a little bit because it's got no place to go with his pieces. I'm not sure where that guy's going. I could kick him. Maybe I'll play knight g3 for well. Okay, I'll go e5. Oof. I mean, I'm a good player, guys. You don't have to spot me such a good position. Can't make me work for a position this big. Knight really has no squares. I am succeeding bigly. All right, now I just have to be a little bit careful that I don't get mated on g2. I'm sure that's coming, but I should be able to sidestep it. Maybe not coming. Now we play d6. Now in total desperation d6, but okay. Maybe it's a little late for that. Okay, thanks, Talakine. But I don't know. There's been some very cheeky play. What have I seen? I've seen knight c3 a6. I've seen knight c3 g5, knight c3 b6. I mean, maybe I could do that kind of thing to make it a little more interesting, but maybe you guys need to play a little more classically. Okay, here we have Chan, or I know the A is capitalized, so it might be, like Christopher Anderson or something like that. It's short for that. Just speculating. All right. But he's playing more conventionally, kind of about time somebody did. So again, sometimes it's a little tricky for white to find the plan in this type of position, but in almost all of these Nimzovich positions, at some point, if white kicks the knight with d5, it usually leads to some advantage. Queen d2. Right. Sort of generic a6. I don't know necessarily that I want to play b5, but sometimes it's nice to provoke white into playing a4, and you can get a b4 square, or just sometimes not having piece show up on b5 is good. What to do. I don't know if that's a useful move or not, but so he's also is doing one of these, making a lot of solid moves and maintaining the position, which is fine, but at some point something's going to happen. Because black sort of has more catching up to do. I'm considering at some moment d5. Of course, now if my knight jumps into e4, it's not attacking the queen. So I don't know if I want to force him to play e5 or not. h3, okay. Back. Now that he's done that, maybe I'm going to play bishop g6 somewhere and hit e4. I was even thinking I might play bishop h5 at some point without h3, because it's a position where things aren't happening that quickly. Rook d2. All right, now I think I'm gonna go ahead with this move d5. There's only so much more preparation I can do for it. Takes, yeah, maybe that was better, because knight coming to e5, knight e4, I think was awkward. Well, now I see another prep move I could have made, maybe with rook fe8. Yeah, that would have been a good one. Yeah, so this did not work out as well as I was hoping. Well, I think he ought to have taken on c6. That's what I was moaning about. If he took on c6, it threatens 97, so I'd have to recapture there. Not that this is horrible for white, though. I mean, this looks like this is he's come out of this perfectly okay. I know it's, I guess, a little bit of a waiting move. I mean, I sort of want to get my knight out, but I figure that I'm happier him playing f3 first. Now both players have pawn maturities they can roll forward. But once again, I got a lot of time on the clock. For those of you who have followed my banter sessions, you know that I'm very often behind in the clock, which is somewhat understandable because I do so much talking. But it's just a pleasure for me to be ahead on the clock. All right, I want to start rolling pawns and driving that knight back. Roll tide. Roll them. Now, what next? I'm not sure. I could even play I even have c4, c3 kind of lined up, because he could get his knight trapped. So now I push c-pawn because he's not blockading the d-pawn. Yeah, so c3 is still a possibility. It's not as... now I'll just push d4. Knight g3, I'll say, because he's starting to come out. All right, I'm gonna go for that, because I think, yeah, he didn't want to lose material there, but what's my but? I said but. Okay. I don't know which piece I should take with. getting a little greedy here. I'm just going to go and grab that. Okay. And Spiel. I don't really mind so much because I just took a pawn, right? So I should just manage this, and all's good. Don't want to take too much time on these moves. Got there in time. Not going to calculate king takes d7. Uh, hmm. And we got it rolling forward. I'm roaring thunder, I'm pouring rain. I'm coming on like a hurricane. Yeah, there we go. Okay, nice game. What was it? Yes, yeah. My pawns got rolling a little bit better than his pawns, but knight takes c6. That's Zwischenzug. I think would have given him an edge. Okay, Jan M. What have you got? Okay. So you like to play the French, I guess. So I'll play the French. Yawn. This is the kind of chess I've always hated. This super solid, kind of way of playing. But of course, there's nothing wrong with it. Solid. I'm going to go for an attack. I'm not going to try to cover it up, fool my opponent. Being honest, upfront about it. I'm going to try to attack. Watch me castle. But I think ideally in this type of opening, black tries to get c5 in very quickly and not necessarily commit to castling so fast. Because, then that's a big target there. Okay, so castle. There might be something to be said for taking that, but I don't want to get my king blocked off from castling, so I'm just gonna go for that. All right, I take it. Whoa. Really? You're not afraid. Okay. you're not afraid. Things will happen. All right, you can take this pawn in f2 if you want. No? 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 Okay. I'm not sure that f5 move helped. Really not sure about that. Yep, I understand. It's gonna, it's threatening knight g5 anyway. It's gonna be some difficulties. Okay, you got one move, one legal move there. Okay, but this is not gonna be so easy. Now I think I'm just gonna play king b1. Okay, so no check. Maybe rook d3 was more accurate. But I figured, okay, I'll start with that. Knight g5 is a good idea. Queen h6. Seems very unlikely that black can really defend this position. Also can't develop. Can't move the bishop from c8. Also thinking about knight g5 there. This has many ideas, knight g5, but also even h5 to h6 and rook h3, of course. Rook e8, okay. Now knight g5 looks kind of indicated. Although, I mean, he couldn't play e5 there. Almost anything was good. h5 was good, probably. Right. I think I'd take with the pawn. Yeah, maybe I would have tried queen c7 if I were him. Yeah, the problem though is that f7 is hanging. That's yeah. Okay, thanks, Jen M. Yeah, I kind of like when I can castle queenside and attack. I think it's kind of hard to deal with that in Blitz. I like to be fancy and maneuver, but those games are more work actually than straightforward attack. Thank you. Okay. So they're pumping along. Who will be next? So far, I've got the queen sweep going. I'm wondering if I got that last time too. Anybody out there? Okay, this is Hien. And this will be the last shot at me. Yeah. Well, my knight c6 has really caused much consternation among my opponents, and my knight c3 has caused a lot of opponents to play very oddly. Okay, I saw this once before, and now this move is safe. Yeah, let's take it for a change. See how that goes. F3? But I wasn't attacking e4. Why f3? Maybe even I could have done this last move. I mean, the pawn on e4 was guarded by the knight, so, you know, white could have played bishop e3 without that. That's unnecessary extra defending, but also creating some juicy squares. Knight f4, queen f1 doesn't really get me that much because he's probably going to castle queenside. I mean, you have to have that feeling. So, what to do then? Let's get on those dark squares. Check. Yeah. Where to go with this guy? Yeah, this has not been a real success. It's been a great success story, this one. All right, let's pump that in there. I need a new idea here. Maybe I'll try to crack open over there. I'm not really sure what my piece and the king side are doing there, but they're okay for now. And I'll try to make something happen on the other side of the board. But it's good to have something interesting happen in the last game. Because we're kind of on a little bit of a string of not much competition, so it'd be good to finish with a tighter game. So something will happen on the queen side over there. This knight on g3 is not exactly outposted because it's not defended, so I'm not sure about its future. All right, so he's not being nice to me and taking. So sometimes keeping the tension gives your opponent an opportunity to make an error. I don't know what that would be, but okay, so all right, you know what? I think I'm just gonna maybe trade some stuff. Just thinking about. I think I'll just trade some stuff. because I can usually make fast moves in endgames. Yep. So I get my king in a little bit quicker. All right, now we open another front over there. Like I said, I can usually make fast moves in an endgame. And now F file is mine. It's mine, all mine. Yeah, he did not help by getting tied down in the A file like that. That was probably avoidable. Ah, that's a good move. Yeah, I miscalculated that. I'll get around to it. All right, now I'm finally in like Flynn. And apples are starting to fall from the tree. No penetration squares there. Little rook c2 threat. I think that's okay. Woohoo! Won them all. Wow. Did not think I was going to manage that. Yeah, just had technical problems and had to really scramble to get going today. Apologize for that, and I thank everyone for their patience today. Thank you to all the players that came out and challenged me, all those who got their butts kicked today, and those of you who waited and didn't get a chance to play. Maybe next time. You know, we do this every month, so be looking forward to taking on all comers in November and on after that. Should be fun. So thanks for coming out today, everybody. And with that, I'll sign off. This is Grandmaster Joel Benjamin, and this has been ICC's Banter Blitz.